Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Olajide Bello. First, the headlines. President Tinubu celebrates with Nigerians, calls for reflection on sacrifice and unity as Muslims mark Eid al-Kabir. Africa Development Bank Chief Executive reiterates tremendous opportunities to accelerate development. Plus, G7 leaders reaffirm support for billion-dollar infrastructure program for Africa. The 9th day of the 12th month of the Islamic calendar is one of the significant days in Islam. It is Arafat Day, the pinnacle of Hajj in the holy city of Makkah. In this report, Musa Baba takes a look at the significance of the day and the responsibility of those who are not performing Hajj.
Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia is a significant religious obligation for Muslims around the world. Standing on the plain of the mountain of Arafat during the Hajj pilgrimage is a crucial moment for pilgrims. It is believed to be the most important part of Hajj, where pilgrims stand in prayer and devotion, seeking forgiveness and mercy from Allah. For Muslims who are not performing Hajj, the day of Arafat holds special significance. It is recommended for them to fast on this day, known as the Day of Arafat, as it is believed to expiate sins and bring spiritual growth.
So it is a special day in Islam. The Prophet ﷺ said about the day of Arafat that there is no day that Allah relinquishes people, bails out people from hellfire and admits them into Jannah like the day of Arafat. So the day of Arafat is a great day in Islam. It is a day that is historic. It is a day that the Prophet ﷺ said should be marked by those who are not opportune to be on Hajj by fasting. We should fast on the day of Arafat, regardless of the day it falls on.
Following the completion of the Hajj pilgrimage, what follows is the celebration of Eid al-Adha, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice. It is a significant day that Muslims commemorate the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God.
The link is that, when Prophet Ibrahim was going in order to sacrifice his son, that was the time that you discovered that Shaitan was coming to him and he was throwing pebble at him. And that's why in the Jamra, you stone the Jamra. So after that, when he was able to overcome the Shaitan, when he now wanted to slaughter his child, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala substituted him with a ram. And that is why for that symbolic, and that is why we, as Muslims, we find that it is mixed together. And that's why we do it that way.
As part of the Eid al-Adha celebrations, Muslims who can afford to do so are encouraged to perform the ritual of Qurban, which involves the sacrifice of permissible animal like a sheep, goats, cow and camel. The animal will be slaughtered after a special Eid prayer is performed in congregation in an open place.
Now, on that very day of Eid al-Adha, the most important thing expected of Muslims is to put smiles in others, is to make others to feel happy, is to reunite and reconnect between you and others. After slaughtering the ram, share it, give some as gifts, some as sadaqah, some as this, and then visitation. Taqabbalallahu minna minkum, may Allah accept from us and accept from you.
It is a time for Muslims to reflect on the importance of sacrifice, obedience, and generosity in their spiritual lives. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu celebrates with Muslim Ummah on the occasion of Eid al-Kabir, an event that denotes sacrifice, faith and obedience to the will of Almighty Allah. The President congratulates Muslim faithful and prays that Allah accepts the supplications and acts of obedience. President Tinubu enjoins Nigerians to reflect on the essence of the occasion, which bears strong meaning and significance for the nation. He emphasized that sacrifice and duty are essential ingredients to nation building, noting that it takes collective purpose, will and action to bring out great change. He calls on citizens to spare a prayer for the nation for continuous peace and stability while working according to purpose in promoting unity, peace and progress. The president acknowledges the sacrifices that Nigerians have made in the past year as his administration sets the nation on a firm pedestal of growth and development. He affirms that the sacrifices and great expectations of citizens will not come to naught, as already outcomes are beginning to manifest with the economy strengthening and vibrancy returning to critical sectors. The president reassures Nigerians that his administration is prioritizing their physical, social and economic security and will not relent on this noble endeavor. President Tinubu wishes Nigerians happy Salah celebrations. As the Eid al-Kabir festivities sets in, many residents of the federal capital city are eagerly planning to reunite with their loved ones. And for those traveling on the Abuja-Kaduna rail corridor, the train station is already bustling with unprecedented activity. Correspondent Vivian Iziadife reports that travelers flock to the station to take advantage of the train services because of its safety and affordability.
Frenzy characterizing festive season was noticeable at the Idu train station. A visit to the station indicates that residents of Abuja are traveling to celebrate Eid al-Kabir with their loved ones. Although this is not without any challenges for passengers who were having difficulties logging into the website for their booking.
I woke up at 12 midnight. I kept trying till 5 a.m. I didn't get a ticket. I couldn't purchase. Then around 7 a.m., by the time I logged in, I saw there were just 4 tickets left. So I told my son to purchase his and I would purchase mine with my daughters. But before I knew anything, they said the tickets were finished. So he got his and we didn't get ours.
No, I don't really have any experience other than booking. Booking is always the problem. There's always difficulty in booking because of the network. I find their portals will be blocked.
When you try to log on again, like after 2 or 3 hours, you find out that all the tickets are gone.
Some of the passengers could not book because the seats have all been exhausted. However, the fares of the train services remain the same depending on one's choice.
Train is more easier and train doesn't run on gallop, just like, not like road, just like car, because car, I heard the roads are not good. The roads are very bad because they are on construction.
I prefer to travel by train. Number one is that the road is still not okay because the construction is going on between Kaduna and Abuja.
Well, I feel train is still safer despite the derailment. It's something that happens once in a while. We hope it will not happen again, but it happens all over the world.
You can see passengers are embarking on the train to Kaduna, and we wish them safe trip, but all they want from government and relevant authorities is to put measures in place to protect the tracks from being damaged by vandals. From Idu train station, I am Vivian Ezadifi.
Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Shehu Mohammed has expressed displeasure at some motorists who still disregard road safety rules on the highways. He observed this when he visited the Zuba area of the FCT to see the level of road safety compliance by a motorist. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
An unusual visit to the Zuba Central Motor Park by the Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed. But this time around, no time for talks or sitting down. Rather, it is time to act on the enforcement of the Corps' plan for the Eid al-Kabir celebration, not leaving out enlightenment. Here comes the first scapegoat, a driver carrying goods and passengers, an act the Corps had frowned at over time. Though the driver was eventually released, but without the passengers.
I'm here with my very senior officers to support our men on patrol so that we can see, we can hear, we can feel what they used to feel while on patrol. So that when we go back, we assess, we evaluate, and see how we can find solution to their operational challenges. Yes, we have observed that, especially here in Zuba, Abuja side, the motorists are still taking 2 passengers in front, which we have vehemently, kicked against it. When we go back, we are still going to call their leaders so that we meet and see how we can stop this ugly trend.
He called on motoring public to obey all traffic rules in order to ensure safety on the highways, while charging officers on the roads to be more proactive in their responsibilities and make use of all necessary measures put in place by the Corps to ensure effective road management. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, says it has deployed more than 47,000 personnel across the country. The Defense Corps spokesman, Bawale Afolabi, says the move is to justify the confidence the citizenry places on the Corps to protect lives and property and also safeguard critical national assets. Afolabi indicates that the directive was prompted by prevailing security challenges and the need for proactive response to criminal activities. He stressed the need for synergy with other security agencies through effective cooperation, collaboration and coordination to combat emerging threats without delay. He also mentioned that the Corps would deploy both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to instill peace and safety of all citizens across the country. And more details of these reports will come in our subsequent bulletin. The African Development Bank Group President, Dr. Adewumi Adeshina, has reiterated that Africa is still the pivotal continent in which it has a tremendous amount of opportunities to accelerate its development. Justin Bemoyi reports.
Take a look at the African economic outlook we had from the African Development Bank. The GDP growth rate, real GDP growth rates last year was 3.1%. This year,
excerpts from an interview with BBC Hard Talk in London indicate Dr. Adeshina stressing there is a need for massive international financial backing to turn the African continent into a global economic powerhouse. The AFDB boss cleared the air on the misperception of risk in Africa, the creation of youth-based wealth, proper valuation of the continent's rich natural capital, and also affirming the evidence of the economic growth of the continent. The AFDB president said Africa's GDP growth rates had continued to outpace the global average, with projections showing positive trends.
That Africa is not as risky as people say. That said, you do have market risk, you do have political risk, you do have financial risk, and that's what we do as multilateral development banks, is to de-risk those investments. But if you take a look at it in terms of risk-return analysis, Africa is still the place to be. That we have a continent with that amount of people. We don't have financial institutions for young people. And that's why the African Development Bank is rolling out what we call youth entrepreneurship investment banks. They are new financial institutions that will give debt and equity for the businesses of young people, because I firmly believe that we must create youth-based wealth in Africa. We have to improve their skills, their entrepreneurship, their access to financing, and for them to be able to play a bigger role in our economy.
He restated the bank's commitment to de-risking investments in Africa and ensuring sustainable growth. Justin Bemoyi, NTA News.
G7 leaders who met at their summit in Paga, Italy, reaffirmed support for multi-billion-dollar infrastructure projects across Africa to realize the continent's economic potential and transformation. U.S. President Joe Biden and current G7 President, the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, co-chaired a special ad hoc meeting on the sidelines of the summit to review the G7's partnership for global infrastructure and investment and its links with Italy's recently unveiled Mattei Plan for Africa. Justin Bemoyi reports.
The meeting, which reviewed the G7's partnership for global infrastructure and investments, accomplishments and delivery on commitments since its 2022 launch, was also attended at CEO level by Italian and U.S. representatives from the financial, energy and digital private sector with a wide portfolio in the African continent. Italy told the gathering it was joining US and EU efforts to promote sustainable development along the Lobito corridor, committing to strengthen collaboration and mobilize an additional aggregate contribution of up to $320 million in investment in support of the core rail infrastructure and of the related side projects, with a view to additionally creating synergies with the Alliance for Green Infrastructure in Africa, AGIA. The Lobito corridor is connected by a stretch of railway infrastructure snaking through mineral and oil-rich parts of Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zambia. It connects Southern and Central Africa and provides access to Eastern Africa and a pathway to the Atlantic Ocean. It is typical of the mega infrastructure projects supported by the African Development Bank to ensure Africa attains its stated aim of complete economic transformation, sustainable development, and poverty elimination. Expressing his thanks for being invited to participate at the prestigious G7 summit, AFDB Bank President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina told world leaders that the African Development Bank had invested over $50 billion in quality infrastructure in Africa over the past 8 years. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
World leaders will be joining Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for a summit on peace in his country. But without Russia in attendance, the summit is seen as merely first step in a long process. Switzerland, which is hosting the two-day gathering at the luxury Bergenstock Mountain Resort, has sought to temper expectations, framing the event as laying the groundwork for a path to peace with future summits envisioned involving Moscow. But in a combative speech on Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin slammed the conference and demanded that Kyiv effectively surrender before any actual peace negotiations. Zelensky's branded Putin's demand a territorial ultimatum, reminiscent of Nazi Germany's dictator Adolf Hitler, while NATO and the United States also immediately rejected the hardline conditions. What we need is not a dictated peace, but a just and equitable peace which takes into account Ukrainians' territorial integrity and sovereignty, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz told broadcast out before the head to the summit. You're watching the news at NTA International. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Cyril Ramaphosa pledged to work with politicians across the political spectrum after being re-elected as president of South Africa for a second time by lawmakers. His re-election comes after his African National Congress party struck a dramatic late coalition deal with the main opposition party and others to allow him to clinch a second term in office. Justin Bemunyi reports on these and other stories making the rounds on the global scene.
Honorable MC Ramaphosa, 283 votes.
Ramaphosa won convincingly in a parliamentary vote against the surprise candidate Julius Malema, the leader of the far-left economic freedom fighters. Ramaphosa won 283 votes to Malema's 44 in the 400-member House. The 71-year-old Ramaphosa secured his second term with the help of lawmakers from the second biggest Democratic Alliance, DA party, and others after the ANC lost its 30-year parliamentary majority in a landmark election 2 weeks ago. The ANC signed an agreement with the DA, once its fiercest political foe, just hours before the vote for president, ensuring Ramaphosa returned as leader of Africa's most industrialized economy. The parties will now co-govern South Africa in its first national coalition where no party has a majority.
I intend to work with all members and indeed to work together with even those who did not vote for me or who did not find their way clear to vote for me. And this is their democratic right. We are all South Africans, and I will serve all and work with even those who did not.
Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Ayodija Riogbele as the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, BPE. Mr. Gbele is a renowned financial expert and award-winning chartered accountant, a fellow of both the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. He has over 30 years of post-qualification experience in diverse sectors, including manufacturing, fast-moving consumer goods, investment and commercial banking, project finance, telecommunications, infrastructure, and public administration. He was the board chairman of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and Commissioner of Finance in Lagos State from 2013 to 2015. The President expects the new Director General to bring his vast experience and competence to bear in this role to strengthen the agency. President Bola Tinubu has directed the resignation of Mamman Amadou from the office of the Director General Chief Executive Officer of the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP. This is part of a larger reorganization effort in the public procurement system to reposition the agency for greater efficiency and transparency. The Director General is to hand over to the most senior officer in the Bureau pending the appointment of a new Director General. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Nigerian Gilali, says the President thanked Amadou for his services and wishes him success in his future endeavors. Nigeria is committed to creating a conducive environment for investment in the innovation, science and technology sector to foster economic advancement of the nation. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Jeffrey Naji, confirmed this when he received in audience a delegation of the European Union aimed at strengthening collaboration in the sector between Nigeria and the EU. The meeting was perceived to be a crucial step in harnessing the transformative technology power for mutual growth and several development areas.
By leveraging the expertise and resources of our European partners, we aim to drive technological advancements and address shared regional challenges. Additionally, we are keen to collaborate on establishing innovation hubs to support startups and SMEs in fields like artificial intelligence. Our ministry will focus on building capacity, enhancing research infrastructure, and fostering collaboration with European research institutions.
What we want to do, research and innovation today are key to everything, are key to sustainable development, are key to social and economic growth. So it's important for a country like Nigeria to really untap the potential and to really use in a more effective way research and innovation to boost its own development. That's the message that is behind not only my visit, but behind our outreach to Nigeria.
The partnership between Nigeria and the European Union is built on mutual respect, shared goals and a commitment to innovation and development. Laughter and warm embraces filled the air as the College of Medicine, University of Lagos witnessed a heartwarming reunion of its YBC 2002 alumni group. After 2 decades, old friends, colleagues and doctors, many of whom had traveled from across the globe, reconnected, sharing memories and forging new bonds. The report.
Union was not just about reminiscing. The YBC 2002 group demonstrating their commitment to the future generation of medical professionals kicked things off with a mentoring and coaching session. Seasoned alumni, including Dr. Israel Akimokun, a renowned consultant orthopedic surgeon, and a lecturer at the college and also the chairman of the alumni group, shared their experiences in various medical fields like research, private practice, and advocacy.
We are doctors, and then also want the people that are coming behind us to learn from us, and then we are also planning some other programs for other aspects of the society to know, and then for them to have an impact.
We've created groups on social media. We've also created in contacts with them such that there can be transfer of knowledge and there can be experience sharing.
Professor David Oke, the provost of the college, expressed his deep appreciation for the initiative, while Professor Folashade Akinshola, Dean of the Faculty of Clinical Sciences, beamed with pride, witnessing these successful doctors giving back to their alma mater.
These ambassadors of ours who are practicing abroad, when they come back, many of them actually impact on everybody by making them up to date.
Seeing them being prosperous and robust, God has been kind to them.
I'll describe the program as very enlightening.
The YBC 2002 group's generosity extended beyond the college walls. They provided much-needed support to the Children's Development Center in Surulere, refurbishing their kitchen and other facilities. Further extending their reach, they organized a free medical and dental outreach program for the Diaraba community held at the Palace of the Seriki. The event offered vital medical care to residents, solidifying the group's dedication to impacting not just future doctors, but the entire community.
As part of our reunion activities, apart from the festivities of the dinner, of the celebration, dancing and making merry, we should find a way of giving back to the society.
We are very happy for their coming. We appreciate them.
The reunion was not just about impactful initiatives. It was a celebration of life, friendships, and the enduring spirit of the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, YBC 2002 Alumni Group. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
And before we go, a quick look at Sunday's weather prospects for Nigeria and other parts of the world.